Let's start with something fun. Did you know that you're basically royalty? Gout is one of the oldest diseases ever recorded, and for a long time it was called the disease of kings. Not because it was glamorous, but because only wealthy people could afford the food and alcohol that triggered it. So, yes, king, queen, royalty, own it! Who actually gets gout? Most people with gout are men, and honestly, this part kind of sucks for us. One big reason is hormones. Estrogen helps the kidney flush uric acid out of the body more efficiently. Men have less estrogen, so uric acid tends to build up more easily. That's also why women usually get gout later in life, often after menopause or when estrogen levels changes due to hormone replacement therapy or certain birth control. But hormones aren't always the whole story. Other factors include high uric acid, which is also called hyperuricemia, high blood pressure, kidney disease, obesity, diet, chronic joint damage, and yes, genetics. And you didn't earn gout. A lot of this is out of your control. Are there different types of gout? Yeah. And this part confuses a lot of people. There are two main types. There's primary gout, which is the most common. There's no single clear cause. It's usually a mix of genetics, diet, alcohol, and how your body handles uric acid. And the next is secondary gout. This happens because of things like certain medications like diuretic and aspirin, kidney disease, high blood pressure, and other medical conditions. There are four stages of gout. Gout also progresses in stages like the first stage, which is asymptomatic hyperuricemia, which is high uric acid, but no symptoms of gout. Two is acute gout. Now, this is like the attack phase, and these are usually people that have gout like once every like 1 to 2, 3 years. The third one is intercritical gout, and that's the symptom-free time in between gout attacks. And these are also basically people that have gout, a couple times in a year, more than a couple. And the fourth one is chronic tophaceous gout, and that's long-term damage and tophi buildup. These are people that also have probably gout attacks once every month, once every couple months, and their gout attack lasts a lot longer than a week. So most people watching this are somewhere between stages 1 and 3. Let's talk about gout and age. This part matters a lot. Gout is usually grouped by age at diagnosis. So if you're over 41, this is called, basically standard gout. Ages between 19 to 40, this is early onset gout or EOG. And under 18, this is called pediatric gout. Here's the thing, gout under 40 is rare, but it absolutely exists. Pediatric gout especially can be more aggressive, and I know this personally. I was diagnosed at 13 years old back in 2000. The frustrating part is that when younger people are diagnosed, their exact ages aren't often tracked well in medical databases. So if you were diagnosed in your teens or 20s, you're kind of an outlier. If that's you, congratulations. You are statistically special. Please buy a lottery ticket. What is actually happening inside of your body? Now, here's the simplest explanation. I tried to break this down in the easiest way that I could. So, your body produces something called purines. They come from your own DNA and RNA, the food and drinks that you consume. Purines break down in your liver, and the waste product is called uric acid. Think of your uric acid as like tiny shards of glass. Everyone has them, even people without gout. The difference is most people's kidneys filter them out efficiently. Ours don't. So instead of leaving the body, those shards build up. They collect around joints and tendons where they can crystallize and cause inflammation. So here's a quick recap. We have purines, and then the purines go through the liver, which then turns them into uric acid, which flows to your kidneys, and your kidneys can't clear it up. So basically, after your kidneys, they group together and crystals build up. They cause inflammation, redness, heat around the joint and tendon, and that causes a gout attack. So what does a gout attack feel like? This is a fun part. I try to make this as clear for you guys as possible, but this is hard to describe unless you felt it. Imagine standing in a hardware store, slamming a heavy hammer into a metal pipe and feeling that violent vibration travel throughout your bones. Now imagine that sensation happening inside your joint. Other ways I describe it is like this. It's like pouring a pot of boiling water into your joints Or it's like the complete opposite. It's like pouring a pot of extremely cold water into your joints. And you just feel it everywhere from your joints and also into your blood vessels. Also, I describe it like shards of glass spinning in a blender, but instead of just the glass, you also include like your big toe, your ankle, your knee, your shoulders, your chest, whatever you're having a gout attack in. It's not just pain, it's intense, deep, and inflammatory pain. Is gout only in the big toe? No, and this myth needs to die. Yes, the big toe is common, but gout can attack any joint or tendon. Ankles, knees, elbows, wrists, fingers, shoulders, hips, neck, chest. Think of that song, head, shoulders, knees and toes. Anywhere there's a joint or tendon, gout can show up. Severe cases like mine can affect places like people don't even expect at all. How long does a gout attack last? So, if gout is uncontrolled, an attack can last weeks, even close to a month. For most people, those attacks last only between 1 to 3 days. What are medications that are usually prescribed? So, doctors typically start with allopurinol, and then if you have a difference of that, then they'll put you on uric. These are taken daily, long term, without interruption. During an acute attack, doctors often prescribe indomethacin or colchicine. Once the attack resolves, those are stopped, but the daily medication continues. What kind of doctors should you see? If you can see only one doctor, start with a general physician. But if you have access to specialists, this is who I would rank. Rheumatologist as number one, podiatrist as number two, and a nephrologist for number three. All can play an important role in gout care. So I have some final thoughts. I know this is a lot. I lived with gout for over 25 years, including a very aggressive pediatric form. I've had surgery to remove tophi and participated in national medical trials. My education on gout was gathered over 25 years. I'm not a doctor. I'll never tell you what dosage to take or what medication you should probably be on. That's between you and your doctor. But I do understand what it's like to live with this. One last question I get all the time. Can you die from gout? No. You won't see cause of death, gout, on a death certificate. But gout is associated with serious conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and infections. We'll talk about those in future videos. If this helped you understand gout a little bit better, I'm here for you. You're not alone, and you deserve good information, and we need you here. Like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want covered next, or share your own gout story. Have a great day, and remember, you're stronger than you think.